Hi everyone, happy Pisces season. I thought that this would be a good chance to do a video showcasing some of my decks and how they match up with some Piscean attributes. While my sun sign is not Pisces, my rising sign is Pisces, and I feel most connected to that part of myself, that Pisces self. I would definitely describe myself as more on the empathetic, compassionate, intuitive, shy side, which I feel fits really well with Piscean energy. So I have some decks to share with you all today, and just to celebrate all of our Pisces friends. So happy birthday to all the Pisces out there, and happy Pisces season. So let's just jump right in. The first deck that I have selected is Stella's Tarot, and when I was looking through my collection, Stella's Tarot really embodied the Pisces person to me. So all of those really dreamy, intuitive, deeply feeling, watery type emotions, that side of a person. And because this deck features a lot of people in it, and some are on kind of the quirky side here, this just felt like a really great match to personify Pisces. And it reminds me of that romantic, idealist kind of person where they really need those soulful connections and they daydream all the time and they love that fairy tale love, or they just love daydreaming about it. They are often drawn to music and art, poetry. They kind of live in their own fantasy world a little bit. They feel everything around them. Very timely, Seven of Discs here. But yeah, everything is an interconnected web for them, and it can really make them be some of the most caring people out there. They just seem to really know things without being able to explain why, and they are said to be the ones that are most naturally connected to the unseen, the mystical side, dreams, and the subconscious. And they tend to be, because of all of those things, they tend to be very overly sensitive sometimes because they absorb those emotions, which can be pretty overwhelming. They might tend to avoid reality as a means of like escapism. They are, because they are deeply empathetic, they might become easily drained because that leaves them open to everyone else's energies. They might tend to be a little elusive because they prefer to go with the flow rather than making firm decisions. I know that's completely 100% me. And they might struggle with boundaries, setting firm boundaries. But overall, when I was taking a look at my collection, I knew that this was the deck that embodied that Pisces person for me, because that's really how I connect to this deck. I would say that Stella's Tarot is very much about my inner world, my inner me. I look at it and I feel seen and I feel heard, and I automatically felt very understood. I get this world because it's very similar to my own inner world that I have going on, my daydreaming habits, if you will. So that's what I would classify as the closest in personality from a tarot deck that matches the Pisces energy. So the next deck I've picked kind of matches that watery side to Pisces. I actually do not have a lot of water based decks. That's honestly something that is kind of missing in my collection, so I'm definitely noting that down. But for this, I've chosen the Crystal Visions Tarot. I think just by the cover image here, she's in a pool of water and she's interacting with, I think it could be a lotus flower, but that's how I interpret it. That flowy nature, that water energy, that is Piscean in nature. Yeah, we see a lot of like pools of water in this card, and throughout the deck really. But overall, this feels very dreamlike in a way. And I don't know about you guys, but when I think about Pisces, I do think about the color purple and this deck features a lot of purple. I don't know if I'm the only one, so let me know if you if you think that too, or if you have color associations with zodiac signs. But I don't know, because Piscean energy is tied to that mystical, the unseen, that psychic realm. I tend to associate that with purple, and this features a lot of deep purples and pinks. And I think, I don't know, it just is a beautiful watery deck. Thank you card here for showcasing that. But yeah, it's just a beautiful deck and just reminds me of the element of Pisces, which is water. So as I mentioned earlier, that energy that comes with Pisces is that dreamy, fantasy-like quality that's really, it can be mystical, but to me, dreamy feels very airy sometimes, very up in the clouds and fluffy kind of in a way. And for that, I've chosen the Vetti Tarot. I think the quality of the artwork is very dreamlike to me, and that comes from everything from the borders. There's this beautiful border that's minimalist in a way, but it adds that certain dainty detail that I think I associate with dreams. Each of the cards, or many of the cards, feature the like stars or flowers or just something soft and pretty going on in the backgrounds. So this to me feels like a dream world, and one where I could, I don't know, the sleeping beauty of dreams, I guess, is how I would describe this one. It's very pretty and it's very soft. Thank you for contradicting me here, but it's very dreamy, very soft. It just feels like it has that light, dreamy quality. And I think that's kind of how many of us, like, at least me, when I'm daydreaming, this is kind of what daydreaming would feel like to me, or what it looks like, or I don't know, I just get so lost in another world, and this deck kind of reminds me of going into that dream world and just being there for a while, until I come back to, I guess. So yes, this is my dreamy deck for all the Pisces. I have the next deck here, which is the Uncommon Tarot, and I felt like this deck fit like a very surrealist, imaginative kind of feel, kind of like perhaps the Prisma Visions or the Light Visions might be. If I had those decks, I probably would have chosen them for this theme, I guess. But I think that there's almost like a filter, it feels like, over the cards. And I was watching a video from Robin's Reflections, and I can't remember the deck she was featuring, but it was from the same artist who did collage work and then put a filter over them, and it was very, like, not surrealist, or maybe surrealist, but it just gave that fuzzy, starry quality. And I feel like the Uncommon Tarot kind of has that going on as well. I'll link Robin's video so you can check it out, or her channel. And I'll leave the specific video I'm talking about or referring to in the description, because I feel like those decks also perfectly match what I have envisioned in my head as like a surreal deck. But there's just something about the quality of the images where it almost feels like someone painted these and then lightly smeared them a little bit. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, with this kind of like textured quality, all of the cards feature that. You can see here in the clouds, it just looks like paint, but it has like a soft focus to it. So that felt very, like, I don't know, imaginative, almost dreamy in a way, but like a mirage type of dream. I don't know. I don't think I'm making any sense, but so that is the Uncommon Tarot for my surrealist pick. And lastly, I have a deck that feels like a portal to another realm. I think that plays into the intuition and dreamlike nature of Piscean energy. And I have a couple of decks that really hit the nail on the head for this one. But the one that is top of mind and that I chose is the Anthropologist Tarot. And that's because I've been using it quite a bit this month. So it's kind of in my mind. But this is a very unique deck. I really don't have anything like it at all. I don't think I'll ever have anything else exactly like it. Although the butterflies and the moths here and the way that this card is depicted kind of reminds me of the Uncommon Tarot that we just saw. But but this deck kind of sends me into a whole different world. It literally feels like I stepped through like an astral realm portal. And it just has a lot of color and there's vibrancy, and sometimes some of the images, or a good portion of them, they make me stop and think. And even this card, it's like the layering of this card makes it feel like I'm in this outer world here and I'm going to be stepping into this world, which kind of feels like Harry Potter-esque, that scene where they're at the Quidditch Cup and it's at nighttime, right? The World Cup. It's very bold, it's very different, and I don't know, it just reminded me of some other place. Another deck that I considered for this prompt is Astraea's Dream Tarot, which I've featured on the channel before. Another deck that I could have chosen would have been Zeke's Arcana, but that literally feels like stepping into another world versus another realm. I don't know, I feel like realm and world are different vibes, different places, I think. So I considered that one. I also considered Death Doula. That's definitely a different realm for sure, but the energy can be very heavy in the Death Doula, and because of that dreamy state that I feel Piscean energy is in, I thought that maybe was too heavy for Pisces, but that's one I considered. Any of those, I think I could have been talked into the Death Doula the more I think about it. But yeah, so we have the Anthropologist Tarot as the deck that feels like a portal to another realm. And that's it, you guys. That's just a short little fun video I wanted to do to celebrate and be in honor of all the Pisces and Pisces season. It's a season where I feel the most at home. And funny enough, my sun sign is actually Aries, so I have the end of a cycle and the beginning of the cycle all in one person. But that's just me personally. But thank you guys so much for being here. And until next time, see you around.